There are many different peoples in our world, each with their own fascinating customs. Today, I will tell you about one such tradition, and I assure you, you will find it just as interesting. So, make sure to watch this video until the end. Some traditions are brutal. For example, in one tribe before marriage, a man is severely beaten with sticks, and he must endure it without showing weakness. If something goes wrong, if the man, for instance, faints, he will have serious trouble finding a wife. But today, we won't be discussing harsh traditions. Instead, we'll talk about pleasant ones. One such cultural practice is called Okujepisa Omukazenda, which is practiced among the Ova Himba and Ova Zemba tribes in northern Namibia. You have probably seen members of this tribe before, as they are quite striking. The Himba women are considered among the most beautiful in Africa. If they apply ochre mixed with clay, cow fat, and dung to their skin and create unique hairstyles. Until the early 2000s, the Himba people rarely used money and instead relied on bartering. It is estimated that around 20,000 of them remain today, and they continue their traditional nomadic lifestyle. The Himba reject modern civilization and prefer to maintain the way of life passed down by their ancestors. Very few of them are willing to leave their homeland and move to cities. Himba homes are cone-shaped huts made from thin tree trunks covered in mud and manure. Inside, there is no furniture, only a few mats and animal skins. Himba women may wish they could soak in a bathtub or take a shower, but that is not an option. Water is more precious than gold in their environment. Because of this, for centuries, only men have been allowed to rinse themselves with water. But the women found a solution. Interestingly, everyone who has been around Himba women claims that they smell pleasant. There is no hint of an unwashed body odor. So how do they achieve this? Dirt is their water. They coat their bodies with a mixture of volcanic clay, herbs, and fragrant oils. They apply it not only to their skin, but also to their hair, protecting themselves from the scorching sun and external pollutants. For the Himba, this is not just a way to maintain cleanliness, it is also a ritual. They believe it purifies both their bodies and souls and prepares them for a new day. Additionally, these practices help keep them healthy and protected from diseases. In this way, Himba women have found their own path to cleanliness and beauty, using only what nature provides. Their methods may seem unusual or even exotic, but they work, and they help them maintain their beauty and well-being. Some Namibian tribes remain highly isolated from the rest of the country. They have rejected modern comforts, raise livestock, live off the land, and practice ancestral worship. Both men and women in these tribes do not wear clothing on their upper bodies. The phrase, Okujepisa Omukazenda, literally means offering a wife to a guest. And this is a practice in which a man chooses to honor a friend or a highly respected visitor by offering them intimate time with his wife. On the chosen night, the husband must not interfere with his wife and the guest. He is required to sleep in another hut, and if there is no extra hut, he must sleep outside. That is the custom. Many might find this practice bizarre or unfair, but for the Himba, it is perfectly normal. Tribal members grow up with these customs from a young age, and preserving their culture is seen as something beautiful and natural. Women who are willing to participate in this ritual consider it an honor. In fact, they may feel offended if a guest refuses, as they see it as a privilege. So don't upset these women by refusing, otherwise they might take it personally. Be honest, would you accept or decline? Let me know in the comments. This tradition has existed in Namibian communities for generations, and for a long time, there were no problems associated with it. Issues only arose when Mr. Kaziangere Chindo proposed amending Namibia's constitution to formally legalize the practice. He argued, "This culture brings us unity and friendship. If you love someone and want to please them, it should be your choice whether to let them rest with your wife. We just need to figure out how to regulate this practice." Most people in Namibia view this custom as a perfectly normal part of life. The head of one village, Uomiti Ruhuzo, also stated that there was no reason to stop this ancient tradition. He pointed out that sexually transmitted infections could spread among any couples who cheat in secret, not just through this practice. According to Ruhuzo, Most men and women in Namibia already have more than one partner. They simply meet in secret to engage in their affairs. So why hide it? The Ova Himba and Ova Zemba are open with each other, which relieves them of stress and fear of being caught. Some claim this practice strengthens friendships and reduces promiscuity, while others argue that it adds variety and makes marriages stronger. If you are now planning a trip to Namibia, there's something else you should know. The decision of who gets to spend time with a wife belongs to the husband. In other words, you need to win over the men, not the women. The wife cannot refuse her husband's wishes, and she complies willingly and wholeheartedly to strengthen the bonds of friendship. Namibia's Traditional Authority Council has also strongly defended the legitimacy of this practice, despite the risk of sexually transmitted diseases. Here's what the council leader had to say. This is a unique tradition that eliminates jealousy between men and women and strengthens friendships. That is why I support its legality. However, we must also educate people on how to prevent the spread of diseases. In other words, protected interactions are necessary. Many women within these communities also fully support the tradition. One Himba woman shared her opinion. I did this earlier this year, and I have no regrets or guilt. It is good because it is part of our culture. Why should we change it? Leave a like if this made you want to visit Namibia. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There are many more fascinating videos waiting for you.